It is Brittany's struggle to stay human after she's been infected with a parasite that is turning her into a zompire. And I do mean a zompire, which is sort of like a hybrid between zombie and vampire. The reason I call it that is that even though at the beginning of the story it's much more vampirific, you do find towards the end where things kind of go in the zombie direction. But ultimately, underneath that whole layer is this beautiful relationship between Brittany and the parasite that infects her. It is a sentient being that's been around for ages, and it's not human, and so it doesn't have human emotions, and it doesn't have human desires, and it's not shackled by humans' sense of morality. And so it's sort of the struggle between the human Brittany and the alien parasitic creature that is Evie, and both of them having to come together on agreements so that they can survive, because ultimately they need blood to survive, and that's why blood matters. I hate saying that it can't be a series, but ultimately, right now, it is a standalone with the possibility of maybe somewhere in the future. But for now, it really is just sort of a compact, complete story. Has a beginning, a middle, a very definite end, and I have some ideas where it can go after that. But I think right now everybody should just enjoy it as the one-off that it is. To be honest, I haven't read a lot of other books in the same genre. I've watched movies and TV shows, and more movies and more TV shows, but I haven't read a lot of books. So I want to say very quickly, oh, I don't know, but that's not the real answer. The real answer is that what sets Blood Matters apart is that it's not just one entity who's become a vampire with a changing brain and all the things that go with it. It is the relationship of the parasite Evie and of Brittany the human, and that internally, that struggle between the two, and their both of their desires and perceptions of the world, and what needs to happen, but then also they're coming together to help keep each other alive, because one with the other, they won't survive, or yeah, or at least Brittany won't. So Brittany has to work with this parasite that she very much hates, and that has very much taken all the things that she loves from her life away from her, and so that's sort of what is different about my book from anyone else in sort of this genre of YA. You can expect Brittany to be a strong, level-headed girl who knows her mind and knows what she wants. And Evie is a sentient being who has memories and experiences that date back further and further and further and further than time even was recorded. Kobe is a wonderful, slightly confused boy who is full of love for Brittany. And then there's Brett, who is kind of the dark one, the one that you don't know much about, and really ultimately I don't want to tell you much about him, because he's sort of a conundrum to get to unravel as you're reading. Yes, I do. I have two favorite places, and I don't know if you figured this out about me, but I hate making choices. So, one of my favorite places that I get a lot of reading done and a lot of writing done is my sauna. I have an infrared sauna that I try to go into a couple times a week, and that is just, it's quiet, it blocks out the other world, and it's warm. It's warm. My second favorite place, that, like I mentioned before, I have a whole bunch of dash hounds, and so I tend to sit on the sofa, and they just pile on to me, and then I'm stuck, because if I get up, then they get up, and so then that's where I get a lot of reading or writing done, because there's pretty much not much else to do when you're under a whole pack of dachshunds. Um, Really, ultimately, I wish I had figured out a lot earlier that I could do it. That's my biggest regret, is that I took so long thinking, oh, I'm dyslexic, so I can't be an author, and then I just didn't even try. And if I had tried earlier, I could have written my first book when I was a teenager or when I was in my 20s. I had to wait all the way till I was 30, and so I just wish I'd figured that out a lot sooner. Yes, I'm working on other projects. Oh my gosh, do you think I could stop? It's sort of like once you learn to walk, why would you crawl? So I am working on several other projects. You can look forward to seeing many, many, many more things from me from the future. However, I do not think I will be going out of my genre, which is young adult, because I love the young adults. I love how full of life that time in our existence is, and I love the possibilities. They're sort of endless. I mean, the older you are, the more narrow your path gets, the less opportunities to branch off. I mean, you can. I'm not saying you can't, but it's a lot harder when you're a teenager. It's like big, and you can do anything you want. And then I love Supernatural, because you take a teenager who can do anything they want, and then you actually give them superpowers, or ghost friends, or parasites, and they actually can do like more things than is even humanly possible. So I don't see myself getting out of that genre. I do have a couple different writing styles that I like to do, but they're all right within that genre. Blood Matters was published in 2015 in spring, and I don't see anything being published before the new year. However, 2016 in the spring again, my favorite season, I will be hopefully able to announce very, very soon the next book I'm working on, which will be a series. I will say that it is Quista, but that's just the working title, so don't quote me on it. And it is about a solar system that's ruled by magic that has been sort of turned dark, and it's about this young girl who is growing up on a world where she is thin and tall and blonde and beautiful. Well, what we would think is beautiful, only in the world that she lives in, she is outcast, because in that world, in the water world, it's much more important to be voluptuous so that you can float and have dark hair and darker skin, and so she's sort of the outcast for all the reasons that in our world that we would adore her, and she's such an outcast that she doesn't fit with anybody, and of course, as time progresses, you figure out that she is the only thing that can save the whole solar system from this evilness that is sort of overtaking it. Yeah. So look forward to that, but before that, you should definitely read Blood Matters.